This is the story of a professional killer whose wife is brutally beaten by two people because the killer had missed one of his targets, and now to take revenge he kills all those people who had done this to his wife. At the beginning of the story we see that the killer was living secretly in a room in a building because he had got the mission to kill a man in the building opposite to that building. He stays in that place for 2 to 3 days and always keeps an eye on his target. This killer is very expert in his work. His idea is to never modify your plan. Always guess and stick to the plan. Have no mercy on anyone and do not trust anyone. After waiting for a few days, the day came when he had to kill his target. His target was with a prostitute in his room. Now as soon as the killer shoots at his target with his sniper, the girl accidentally comes in front of him and she is killed instead of his target. Seeing this, the security guards of the target take him away from there to a safe place. But the killer gets very upset seeing this because till date he has not missed even a single target. He quickly packs all his belongings and comes out of there wearing a helmet. As soon as he comes out, the first thing he does is steal a bike, and as soon as the police are about to arrive there, he runs away. Now, while trying to escape from the police, he throws the luggage he was carrying with him, which contained a sniper, in different places. Now after parking the bike, he throws his helmet in the water and after going to a public washroom, first of all he cleans himself thoroughly with water and also shaves. And after changing his clothes, he takes a taxi and leaves for the airport. There he first sanitizes his gun and throws it in the dustbin. But when he goes inside, he sees 2 policemen and their dog investigating there. The killer does not want to take any kind of risk, so he comes out from there and waits for them to leave. After they leave, he catches his flight, but during the flight he becomes suspicious of a man whether he is a spy or not. He keeps an eye on him and realizes that this man is also going to board his second flight with him. But because the killer does not want to take any kind of risk, he returns his second flight ticket and stays in a hotel room there. When he orders food in the room, then he places a plate under the door of that room and places a glass on its handle, so that when he sleeps at night and someone tries to open the door, so there should be a loud sound due to the glass vessel falling on it and he will become alert. But no one comes at night, and the next morning he takes another flight to his city. His car is parked at the airport of his city. When he reaches his home sitting in that car, he sees someone's footprints there and also many cigarettes. Seeing this, he becomes alert and takes out the gun from his car and goes inside his house. There he sees a lot of blood stains and there is a lot of vandalism going on. Actually, his wife lived with him in this house, and after seeing this he understands that someone has attacked his wife. But his wife is not there, so he goes to the nearby hospital to find his wife. His wife is in a very serious condition in the hospital, and her brother is also sitting there. Her brother tells him that they had come to kill you, but when they did not find you, they beat my sister, but she did not tell them anything about you. I arrived there late. When I reached there, they had left in a green taxi. There were 2 people, a strong man and a white-haired woman. After this, the killer meets his wife, and seeing her, he is very angry at those 2 people. He promises his wife that he will kill those people who did this to you. Now he goes straight to his house and opens the safe hidden in the ground and takes out currency of different countries and many different identities of his. Now he leaves the city to find those green-colored taxis. And as soon as he sees that taxi, he goes to that taxi's office at night. There he ties up a man and extracts the information from his computer as to which taxi will come directly from the airport that day which had gone towards his home. Then he comes to know that a taxi driven by a man named Leo had gone straight from the airport to his house on the same day. He takes complete information about that man from there and goes away. Now the next day he stands outside the same office and waits for Leo to take him out. As soon as Leo comes out of the office in a taxi, he starts following him. And seeing the opportunity, sits in his taxi. Now after going a little further, he shows him the gun and asks him to tell about the people whom you had picked up from the airport 3 days ago. Seeing this, the boy gets very nervous and tells him the whole story that there were 2 people. One was a very strong man and the other was a white-haired woman. They took me to a deserted area far away from the airport. When we reached a private property, he asked me to wait outside and went inside themselves. I stood outside smoking a cigarette and waiting for them, but they came out of the house after 2 to 3 hours. I was very scared after seeing that man with blood on his hands, so I did not ask him any questions. After that, I dropped them back at the airport. Then he requests the killer that I have no involvement in this. Please leave me. But the killer feels that if he has told me everything so easily so he can tell anyone about me, that is why he kills him without any delay by shooting him in the head. Now after this he goes to another country, where he first buys a car and then he goes to his garage there. Going there, he takes some of his weapons and new documents and also puts a fake number plate in his car. And then he goes to a store and buys a big dustbin and something similar. Then he disguises himself as a garbage collection company and waits outside a building. Then he sees that as soon as a delivery person is about to go inside the building after showing his ID, he stops him from behind and very cleverly goes inside with him. Now when the man goes inside the office to make his delivery, he sees that there is an automatic lock system installed in the gate which automatically locks the gate from inside after a few seconds. So he stays outside and starts the countdown in his mind, and he comes to know that this gate will be closed in 7 seconds. Now when the delivery person comes out after delivering his order, he waits for 6 seconds, and as soon as 7 seconds pass, he stops the gate from closing with his foot. Now he goes inside that office with a gun and a box. There he meets a woman, and with her help he reaches his boss's cabin. Now he gives 3 ropes to the woman and asks her to tie her boss's hands and also locks the woman in the bathroom. Actually, this man is a killer contractor who takes the help of killers to kill his client's enemies. This killer also works for him. But when his target was missed by this killer, this boss felt that perhaps this killer has got contact from another party and perhaps they may have paid him more money. And that's why this boss had sent those 2 people to this killer's house to kill him. But at that time this killer had not reached his home. So they beat his wife very badly and tried to get information about this killer. And as we know, his wife did not say anything. Now coming back to the story. Actually, this killer has not only come to kill this boss, but at the same time he has also come to find out the people who had beaten his wife. But his boss doesn't tell anything to the killer, so the killer gets angry and kills him. Now he goes to the woman who is his boss's secretary. That woman knows that this man will kill her too. So she makes a deal with the killer that I will give you the names and addresses of those 2 people, but you kill me in such a way that my death looks like an accident. She says this because there is a life insurance policy in her name which her children will get only if she dies due to an accident. But if that woman is murdered, then they will not get that money. The killer agrees to this deal, and he comes back and keeps the boss's whip in that big dustbin and kidnaps the woman and takes her to a house. There the woman gives him a numerical pattern, from which the killer finds the information hidden in these cards about the 2 people who had beaten the killer's wife. And at the same time, the killer also extracts from these cards the information of the client who had given him the task of killing this man through his boss. Now when he gets complete information, he suddenly strangulates the woman from behind and kills her, so that her death can be proved to be an accident. Now the killer leaves here and goes to Florida to kill his first target who had beaten his wife. After going there, he sees his target, but along with him he also sees some of his strong friends who are staying in his house. So he buys some things from a store and sits in his car a short distance from his target's house and waits for his friends to leave. Now when it gets night, his target goes out with his friends. And the killer also follows him. And when his target comes back home, the killer sees that his friends have not returned, which means now his target is alone at home. So first of all, he gives the burger to his dog to make him unconscious so that his dog falls asleep and does not create any hindrance in hitting the target. Now he stands outside and waits for the dog to become unconscious, and then seeing the opportunity, he goes inside the house. But his target had realized that someone had entered the house. So he attacks the killer from behind, and there is a huge fight between the 2. Now because the killer is a very expert person and also has a lot of anger in his mind, then somehow he shoots his target and kills him, and comes out and sets his house on fire so that he does not leave any evidence. Now he leaves for New York to kill his second target. Now, like before, he waits outside his target's house. Now when it becomes night, he sees that his target is going out somewhere in a car, so he follows her. Now while chasing, when his target's car stops at a traffic signal, he gets a chance to kill her, but he does not kill her at that time because he wants to kill her out of fear in front of his eyes. So he sees where she is going and follows her again. Now when the white-haired woman goes to a restaurant, the killer goes behind her and sits in front of her seat and shows her his gun and tells her to keep quiet. Seeing this, the woman understands that this is the same man whose wife she had beaten. So she gets very scared and she knows that this is her last time. So she starts drinking a lot and offers the killer to drink too, but he does not drink. Then the killer takes her out of the restaurant to a deserted place. The woman is very scared, and while going down the stairs, her foot slips, so she asks the killer to help her. But the killer kills her at that very moment by shooting her in the head. And when the woman's dead body falls on the ground, the killer sees that she had a knife in her hand. If he had been even a little careless, the woman would have killed the killer on the spot. Now half of the killer's work has been completed, so he now goes to kill the client who gave him the first target in which he was unsuccessful. So he goes to Chicago and finds out that the man goes to a gym every day. Now because he is a very big man, the security of his house is also very tight. So he makes a plan, in which he first takes membership of that gym. Now while taking membership, the pen he uses to fill the form belongs to the gym owners, but after filling the form, he does not return that pen but keeps it with himself, and while going out, he throws it in the dustbin there. He does this so that his fingerprint is not left anywhere. Now he buys a gun from a gun dealer. And when he goes inside that gym, first of all he very cleverly steals the keys of the locker room from a security person. Now whenever he goes to the changing room, his target is sitting there, so he waits for him to go. Now when his target goes out and starts going to the gym, he opens his locker and makes a copy of his home security system. And he puts back his house card, which unlocks his house and comes out of the gym. Now he breaks the security system of his target's house at night and goes inside his house. Seeing this, the man gets very nervous and tells everything to the killer. He tells the killer that when his killer's boss gave him the mission to kill a man, he had given a guarantee that he would get that man killed. But when you missed the target, your boss told me that you have met the other party and now you will kill me. And to save myself, I gave him too much money. Actually, that man has no idea that the boss of this killer got his wife beaten and lied to this client that the killer has met another party. He just wanted to withdraw money from this client. That's why he did all this. Now the killer had understood that there is no fault of this man in this matter, and the killer has already killed those who are responsible for this work. So he does not kill this man, and after giving him a slight threat, he goes from there. Now we see that killer and his wife is living comfortably in their house, and his wife has also recovered from her injuries. And with this, the killer completed his revenge, and this story ends here. So, how did you like this story? Do tell in the comments and subscribe to our channel to see similar videos. Till then, goodbye.